I mean, what's your basis for that determination?
Because the basis for that determination. Okay, so because I have my own crazy turbulence, then because of that, I understand the opposite of my turbulence. And I could guide people with that understanding to self-improve themselves.
And how do you do that exactly?
I do that because I have empathy.
Not
So
quite. How? What's your methodology?
how do I do that? I think in the moment.
Just give me an
I
example. You have memories to draw from.
Okay, fine. Makes sense. Makes sense. All right. Okay, so I see a person, and the person has a problem. He comes to me with a problem. I solve the problem in that person, and that person is happy, and he leaves, does whatever he wants, and I have maybe some schizoaffective kind of desires or whatever. So I'm pretty cool with being alone, and I like to just think about different types of facts altogether. And
Why do you think it is that they came to you to solve their problems?
because I'm very good with understanding people based on their lifestyle, and I'm pretty selfless too, I guess.
And
And
why do you think it is that they have that impression?
why do they have that impression? I guess because my mind is unconventional and I don't even understand it fully, so I'm pretty sure other people will probably have interesting, or I don't know, maybe give some feedback on how it works.
Give you feedback on how your mind works?
Sure, that too, that as well.
They're giving you feedback on how your mind works, but they come to you for you to help them.
Okay, wait. No, I help them separately, and if they want to help me with my problems, or if they want to help me consider future opinions on how I could help others, I take in information that you would give, and I would desire to help a person that I see who's in a similar state of mind as me, or in a similar form of chaos as I am going through, and I would like to help him instead of helping myself with that information.
Do you think you'd be better suited to find order first and then help them with their chaos?
It would be better,
Because
but
it sounds like the blind leading the blind is what you're describing.
yeah, yes, that's right. That could be possible.
That's worth thinking
But
about.
yeah, I guess that is. But at the same time, I also have learned a bunch of information online, and I just got jumbled up in my mind. And it depends on the intensity of my thought. It depends how much of my desires to influence or activate my mind that will bring thoughts together like a puzzle, that will form two entities or two beliefs together, in facts, to into a form where I could see the picture more clearly.
Do you think your turbulence makes it difficult for you to come to a firm understanding of all of those separate ideas? Or do you think it makes it easier to integrate those ideas into a
Easier.
whole?
It makes it easier to integrate those ideas into a whole.
And how do you test those against reality?
How do I test those against reality? I see what works, like visually. I see it intuitively. I see the picture. I naturally have very high, fast processing mind, so I can understand certain aspects to things like faster. And even though my mind is all conjobulated, I could still put facts together really quickly
But
and
again, how
out
do
of
you,
my subconscious mind.
what method do you use to evaluate whether you've come to a good synthesis of those ideas?
The moment, simply the moment.
That's very vague language.
This synthesis. That's what synthesis. Oh, it's the idea. Okay, it's objective. It's more. Then it becomes more objective thinking, which is kind of getting into like yeah, into those states of mind where basically things become more objective, like obtain help this person. Okay, obtain minimal living standards. Okay, obtain this, obtain that. and then that's how it works. And there's not much processing as much as a mission. So I'm very mission oriented. So let's say someone says, take over the Federal Reserve. Got it. Start working. Kind of like that.
Would you say that you're driven primarily by sentiment rather than data?
I'm driven more by data plus sentiment.
Which one would you say is the more
equal? It comes in SQ intelligence. I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird to explain it. Just equal.
So you learn things online, and you have an emotional response to what you're learning. You see that there's wrongs or there's imbalances or
not much of an emotional response. More of a universal.
Well, sentiment is not data.
Yes.
You're in an emotional realm then.
I'm not just in the emotional realm.
Well, you said half of it's data, half of it's sentiment.
Yes.
Okay, is sentiment emotional?
Yeah, I guess. You could also be sentiment emotional, SQ intelligent. Yeah, that makes sense as well. Let's see. Let's try to make it more understandable for you. So no, but I'm generally talking about the general mind state, like the core mind state when you want to relax and just chill out. What is your general mind state like? Like when you're, wanting to just be inefficient, like subconscious processing with your mind because you want to save the amounts of energy required to alter your mind functioning process, because using 100% capacity of your mind could be painfully and exhausting for anyone. So it's also about like saving energy. Brendan Gilbert, Associations of Herbal Dynamics. Bioherbal dynamics.
So what's a good example of some of these separate facts you've brought together and synthesized into a greater understanding, or perhaps a gestalt is the good word, of a problem that you feel that you need to help solve? You have a specific example?
A specific example of an understanding of why I need to solve it?
An example of where you've synthesized two bits of data that you said seemed separate, unrelated, and you've gained understanding.
Yes.
Together. What's a good example of that?
A good example with that. Okay, well, for example, taking eventful realities and taking data from the way things are created as a system, and using that systemized data as a form of understanding the possible data manifestation of that eventful environments as a systemic system to create an understanding as to how that data can be useful to society as a whole, and at the same time to have those two unrelated things like events and systemized information come to a conclusion of variety and come to a conclusion of constant updated information that a person can observe to say this form of analysis is holding up for, say, several 10 years or 20 years.
Do you have an example you can provide us with?
Well, sure, yeah. Let's see. Well, I sort of forget things after I'm done helping people. They sort of leave my mind, but let's see.
Well, you do have photographic memory. So
yeah. I need to alter it. Yeah, I need to use brain power again. Let's see. Where will I get that from? Okay, let's see. Okay, so I had quick subconscious data on the best coat to buy. Okay, so I told the guy to buy his coat at Hudson's Bay because they were having a discount for 35%. Then rather, Sports Check or let's say another store. Okay, so just a simple example. And he bought his coat at Hudson's Bay. He bought his Canada Goose there. I mean, I told him you could order it online. It's funny. You know, you could use the internet for that. But you know, maybe it's good when there's organic people walking, because when the end of the world comes, I mean, well, not the end of the world, but when technology is not more associating with our general lifestyle, then people will need a person who's a walking encyclopedia. And that's the time when it comes for that ability to be useful, to direct people to the nearest best stores with the best discount, with the best way to create their opportunistic exchange of certain transcending data in a systemized or eventful manner.
What's a more profound example than buying a coat on discount?
Okay, well, let's say something, okay, you're INTP, right?
INTJ.
INTJ, okay. So, all right, let's take society in general. Okay, let's take the progress of our future norm, of future society. Let's take Mikhail Kaku's lessons on how the future will look like. And let's take the understanding of biome fields. Let's take the example of biome fields. And we take and we calculate the understanding of Mikhail Kaku's subconscious mind and his ability to be able to deduce data to the understanding of how he can alter himself, how he can alter his capability, his forms of observation to help the person that God damn it again, to help the person that wants to create biozone fields in society. Wants to get there by time. So I look at the lecture and I see what he's missing in his repertoire and I insert it and I comment. It sounds really funny. I comment the best idea of subconscious manifestation, and Mikhail Kaku then reads my comment and he says, okay, so all right, so this is what we need to do in a procedural notice. We need to follow this information for 20 years plus to be able to get ourselves to that biome field.
What was he missing?
What was he missing? He was missing the understanding of how to see the subconscious world, the dynamics of spatial intelligence, and the understanding of bringing information together. The synthesis of mind. The legit, crazy, distorted synthesis of mind with the ability of inputs of creativity going far away from A to Z thinking.
How does that apply to an engineering project?
How does it apply to an engineering project? Good question. Okay. Does it apply to an engineering project? All right. It applies to an engineering project based on the idea of the amount of information that you associate in your subconscious mind through quick, pointless videos that associate to generalities within the relativeness of their meaning, to their understanding that those relative understandings between the associations of meaning create the understanding that you have the ability to see the subconsciousness between the understanding for that engineering project.
But if it's an engineering project, how do those kind of issues?
Because I receive the information and I mirror it into my subconscious mind for synthesis thinking from watching thousands of YouTube videos about the subject of engineering.
Okay, but I still don't understand how him lacking that, assuming that he does, dispermits the development of that project.
Because he simply is too realistic with society, and he is not looking at things from a creative outlook, so he cannot...
Too realistic.
Too realistic, yeah. he needs fantasy sometimes in his inventing, in his ways of seeing the perspective in a different form of ways, that it becomes complicated for him as an intellectual individual or someone well-rounded with a base mentality to be able to associate with the Gestalt's principle of thermal heat and energy and interact with the unknown principles of life.
Do those concepts get you excited?
Those concepts get me excited.
Why?
Because I love science. No, I love knowledge. Because I like it. That's it.
So how much time do you say you would spend watching YouTube videos versus plugging in the soldering iron or putting pen to paper and actually realizing these understandings into something objective that benefits people?
I spent like around 15 years on YouTube watching a ton of videos and seeing their subconscious realization or reading them between the lines to see how they could come into a manifestation of an invention versus just simply the understanding of actually putting it together into a theory that will... I know the understanding. I have put things into a theory and I realize that there certainly should be some kind of base to help other people understand exactly what you mean. But I feel like if you're talking on the subconscious level, that's what I'm saying.
No, I'm talking in
the conscious level.
Yeah,
I could reorganize my jumbled up data and make it orderly and organized and refine inventions through the subconscious mind with photographic memory.
You could, or you have?
I could and have, sort of. I mean, I can invent things that are out of this world, and I don't know how to explain it, but like inventing 156 syntax grammar structures, writing out mind maps. It's sort of understanding the spiritual realm, understanding the spiritual matters, and how things could associate together in relativity is pretty interesting as well.
So you spent 15 years absorbing the data on YouTube. How many years have you spent putting pen to paper?
0.
There you go.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything if it's just in your head.
Exactly. But that's why you give it to other people. You create little toys. Okay, imagine elves at a workshop, at Santa's workshop. They're creating little toys, and they're creating these little toys for people, and they're dropping them gifts that make them happy. And as those people receive those gifts, they open them up and they realize, wow, this is what I wanted to always have. And then you're like, yes, because I've made that for you. See, I used my subconscious mind. I gathered a bunch of data. I jumbled it up like as if it was a universe inside my mind of different neurological connections, and I made you a gift with that, and I gave it to you.
What's the medium by which you give those gifts?
Randomness. But by the need of what people want, I can introspect into the person and see if he's working on a project, what he wants, and I just give him that gift of exactly what he wants intuitively. Saying from his ability of damn it.
But what's your means for giving him the gift? Are you talking about blueprints and schematics? Are you talking about block diagrams? What are we talking about here?
We're talking about synthesis data. That means
no. Are you giving it to them as a blueprint, as something on paper they can look at and read and then manufacture something from or develop an idea from? How are you relaying that information?
General idea, sometimes blueprint. If I could manifest enough knowledge to create a blueprint out of jumbled information.
Do you have one of those blueprints handy by chance?
No, I don't, sadly. Unless it comes to a project, and I know I could tell you that I am capable of creating creativity for you.
What do you destroy them after you give them to them, or I don't understand.
No. I just I simply give them like on Facebook, right? Because most of the time I spend online, that I have like no physical way of showing it. Like, yeah, so what I do for like a job, let's say I do sculpting. I'm a sculptor, so I sculpt the face I see all the forms of creativity, and I see the way that they could attune to perfection. And I sculpt someone their face, and I give it to them, and I give them the image of who they are, and
Like
they
like as a you give it to him like as a JPEG or
no, as a
Wow.
3D model, Like for example, that's one. Another,
like a physical model.
yeah.
Okay. You have any of those handy? I'm interested.
Oh no. Like well, I have a store if you're interested. Yeah, I mean, I have a store. Okay, so after I give them the model, I sometimes decide to make a little bit of capital off of it. It's just funny.
That's it. That seems awful. Uh, that does not seem very altruistic.
But it is because no, I give them the model for free, and then I could maybe sell it online as another copy.
Have you sold
kind
many of those?
Yeah, kind of okay. I mean, god damn it, can't take it seriously. Okay, let me show you what I mean by that. So basically, I would create like, let's say, okay, so what would be a dark person? Okay, I'm gonna show you a dark model I created. The manifestation of dark energy.
And how does something like that contribute to an engineering project?
It doesn't. That's why everything has its own place.
Well, what would be an example of like the missing piece that you talked about that dispermitted the engineering project that he was lacking?
What certain piece discriminated? Okay, so for example, the understanding that he doesn't have creativity, doesn't have as much creativity, doesn't have the understanding of a certain specific sense of a concept, but rather a generality.
What's one of those concepts that he doesn't have a good understanding of?
He doesn't have a good understanding of the ability to amalgamate information into synthesis form because my mind is created in that unknown way. And it creates practical sense and use because it's internally built in me as a primatal function of my nature and of my creativity and importance on this earth, which makes it complicated for other people to arrive at this sort of thinking. So I feel this thinking is exclusive and it has its negative side effects, but it also helps other people.
Exclusive to what or whom?
It's exclusive to ENFJs because they think in this sort of way and they invest maybe time into this sort of thinking, and it manifests itself conditionally throughout their childhood. That makes it complicated for them to, think otherwise or have the ability or time to think otherwise.
And there's millions of those out there. What is peculiar and unique about you versus all of them?
Because it's in my nature. That's pretty much it.
But it's not in theirs.
It's well, if they did this from birth, then it would be in theirs.
Okay, so how do you determine whether or not they have or have not?
I would determine it based on the idea if they have synthesis thinking. If they don't have synthesis thinking, then they don't understand the way to value these certain concepts.
Well, you said
like
idea.
You
said idea. You said idea, but what's the data? I mean, what's your what have you looked at and used to make that determination that's not inside your own head?
The data is, it's like it's coded intuitively. Let's see. I guess it's sort of like I know how to fit the moment. Say that's
okay, but that's not an observation about them.
Everything comes at the second in the subconscious mind, and it manifests itself without me even having to think about it consciously.
And where did you learn that?
I learned that's my way of birth. I am like that in birth. It's kind of weird.
You didn't learn that from any of the YouTube videos or any of the research you do online?
No. It's just,
what have you? What is it that you have learned from all of those videos that because you said that you spend a lot of the time collecting the data, and that's incorporated into your understanding, and that's somehow unique and it's missing in somebody like him, and that you could turn around and then provide them with something that they can use to fulfill their vision, to manifest it in reality.
Yes,
right?
yes. Because I addition to the concepts of their system that they implement and assumably know about in their field of study as a form of intuitive subconscious intellect, or the ability to play with chance and risk and idealism and big sorted ideas, plus sometimes analytics could kick in. The intensity of the ability to solve your problem comes at the task of hand of all the tools that you have in the moment's notice, of the proactivity of time, of the sense of the moment.
Okay, and think about this carefully. Is that real?
It's real.
How do you know?
Because I invent things and I create things. It's real because it works. It just works for me. So I know it's real.
In your head it works.
In my head it works, and it works as an output, a result to solve people's problems, yes.
Testable in the real world.
Testable in the real world, correct.
Okay. And what have you tested in the real world that has validated that as being real?
What have I tested in the real world that I found that to be real?
Specifically, not a generality or a concept, but an object, something in the real world that you've used to validate the reality of those.
Well, generally I go with psychology for that reason.
No. Objective in the real world.
Objective real world. Okay, sure. I was sort of like an assistant for my stepdad as he was a stockbroker. And basically at that moment in time, he was doing stocks, and he told me if the market is going to go down or up. So from the research of irrelevant data, I was able to make a guess that is very precise based on intuitive intellect to help my stepdad invest properly into the market, and he made money. So that'll be a good example. Predicting trends is a good example too. But it also comes with a certain point of side information.
So what you suggested very specific stocks to either buy or short on, and you benefited from that?
Yes. And I could invest into stock markets with my eyes closed. and it's funny. It worked.
Is that what you're doing?
No.
You're selling models online.
I'm selling models online, yes.
Don't you think you can make a lot money more money in the stock market than doing that, and you can use that money then turn around and realize and manifest these?
I don't care about money. Again, that's the thing. Well, I do.
If you don't care about money, why were you helping him in the stock market?
Because it's for him, not for me. Let's see. Okay, how do I express my not care for money? All right, obviously I appreciate eating food. Okay, that's pretty much all I really need, but yeah. And the rest is... Okay.
You need access to data, right?
I do need access to data, you're right.
So it's more than just food.
It is internet. Yeah. So food, internet, and the ability to be able to manifest this subconscious mind constantly.
And time, right? You need time to do this.
Yes, and time. True.
If you have a shitload of money, doesn't that liberate you from having to spend 8 hours a day working at something, and you can so that you could eat by virtue of your stomach, and then spend that time? You may not care about money, but do you care about time?
Do I care about time? Yeah, I do care about time more than money. Yeah, I care about time because I think time gives you the ability to see through certain concepts over time.
And you don't think that having a lot of money gives you time that you can invest however you want?
It does. It certainly does. But I also think that I don't have a real purpose to also want to have higher forms of associations in the materialistic world, even though it might stop or increase the progress of my productivity.
Then
I feel as if I'm a fatalist in a sense of my forms of choosing of logic.
Well, then why concern yourself with somebody's engineering project?
Because I feel that my mind could just associate to them in that way. It's
I don't
random.
understand. You'd have to explain in more detail.
I don't even have a reason. I altruistically help people.
And you don't think large amounts of money they are a power multiplier in that capacity? If you had $1 trillion working the stock market, you don't think you could do something altruistic with that?
I can, yes, and I would be very objective, and I would do something.
Then how can you not care about money?
Because I do care about money. I don't care about the understanding that money is useful to me. I care about money so if someone was to give me $2 billion,
yeah,
I would invest it in Elon Musk.
Watch the show.
Can't you give yourself $2 billion with your acuity in the stock market?
I can, yes.
Why not?
Because it could be of risk, because karma and other energies are present and I could feel them sometimes.
But you've already demonstrated your capacity for that with your uncle.
There is different forms of consequences for the association of the amount you raise.
Karma is how pussies justify not getting revenge.
So you think that if you do well in the stock market, trying to make $2 billion to be altruistic and help mankind, that karma is going to just permit that from occurring, and that's a risk?
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact.
Yes.
People who feel more guilty about themselves tend to give more to charity.
It's a cool fact. Well, it's the idea that I am uncontrollable. So I can't control myself, and I could only...
I don't feel guilty when I give to charity. I feel good when I give to charity.
Right, but the purpose of giving to charity tends to come from guilt.
It's called conscience wandering.
Yep.
I'd like to come in here and say that in a way you kind of contradicted yourself at the beginning, because what you were saying was that you don't care about money, but at the same time you wanted to do something that is altruistic with money. But at the same time, money can be used as an altruistic thing. So wouldn't you care about money in an altruistic sense to some extent? So then wouldn't you be negating
a narcissist
yourself?
does not care about other people.
No, a narcissist cares how he is perceived.
Yep.
Money is a tool. If you are an altruistic person and you will use money for good, then it's immoral to not try to get the money.
Yeah.
The whole purpose of giving for a narcissist is to make other people perceive them in a greater light.
I'm explaining the concept of money. Just like I'm about to explain the concept of self-responsibility and power is that you can control yourself.
What are you spraying, dude? Are you huffing shit?
No, I'm getting guns, but I did it off screen because you whining over
cleaning. You have to
Okay.
maintain and properly maintain weaponry.
God damn it, my fucking cat. God damn it, fuck you.
So like the way that I feel, like if you want to understand my motivations is basically to take out systems, large systems. And I feel like I could do that with an objective mind and help people in general, help society in general. I get the kick out of taking out those systems themselves and not even doing it for the people.
Which systems have you taken out so far?
No, I took out one system. I did. Okay, so in our university class, we have this problem. There was this YFS healthcare, and it was charging everybody $300. So I went into the bureau and I yelled. Well, didn't really yell, but I kind of approached.
Or did you not yell?
I didn't yell, but I kind of complained in a very animalistic way to
So you're an animal.
Yes, sort of. You could say I'm modestly an animal.
What's animalistic complaining look like?
So, what kind of animal are you? Are you like a furry or something?
I am. What kind of animal? I'm a Black Panther.
You're a Black Panther.
With fuck, what is it called? with an owl sitting on the Black Panther.
I was trying to video chat me that I actually care about. I'll see you guys later.
Later.
Take it easy.
I like that.
Fuck! Finally, holy fuck! Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, that's kind of it. And man, you're new here, right? The
Me?
one, yeah, yeah.
He's racked up more time than you have.
No, okay. So technically, this conversation is just about like childhood and how.
No.
how
No,
PNFJ
this
personally
I-
conversation
raised.
was.
I've kind of been in tune with what's going on.
Yeah. So
I just wanna
don't-
say
don't
that,
know. I just want to understand and relate to people who have this kind of same psychological way of
Has
thinking.
anybody ever
about
told you
things.
that you need to see a therapist?
Well, yeah, I guess just
You
when
should
I'm
seriously
teaching.
consider seeing a therapist.
I mean, it happened. I heard it happen at least once this evening.
Because it's just interesting. No, but I go back into my past. I mean, I just
Here we
want to
go.
show people the past, so I don't want to show. I'm pretty fun in the future. It's all crazy, but I mean, it's just concepts that people don't understand.
No, it's not.
So I can't really communicate it. It's really hard to communicate it. It's on an intuitive level.
Why do you think they don't understand?
Because it's just too complex. I don't know how to explain it. It's funny, and people will take it like for stupidity.
That's
And-
a serious assumption to be making about what other people can and cannot understand.
Okay, so yeah. Okay, so otherwise I wouldn't laugh. That's why. And it's a weird way of thinking that works. So I don't know why it works.
But how do you test the workability of it? What are you using to evaluate that?
What am I using to evaluate? The moment and objective logic. That's all.
No, what's a testable example in the real world?
Objective.
Stuff.
Just a
Focus
belief
on that
that-
objective word.
So usually I don't think with my subconscious mind. This is sort of like when I was a kid, I used to think with my subconscious mind.
Wouldn't that make it conscious?
No. Well, it makes it transmictional dimensional.
How's that work?
It works like this. It works like your consciousness and your subconscious mind is so put together. It's like you take your brain and you compress it, you condensate it with different kinds of information, and that information has the ability to create different kinds of abstract concepts. And at that level of intensity, you start refining and you start what's that word called? You start smithing. You start smithing ideas.
Forging ideas.
Okay.
Forging ideas.
Do you then take one of those ideas and manifest something in the real world that you can test?
Yeah, only in an objective sense for other people. Yes.
Like what? What's an
If
example?
Michael found there. An example.
I mean, you speak of this stuff as things that have occurred, so you should have examples that you can draw upon and describe this process for us.
Right. It's just I forget everything as soon as I do it.
That's not a photographic memory.
No, it's a memory. It's just the way I do it. It's like it's really weird. Oh, how do I put it? It's like I don't need it. I don't
Here,
need
let
that
me help you out here.
information.
It's associative memory. You go from one link to another until you find the picture.
Yes, exactly.
But every bit of memory is unreliable. Your mind will change things to fit your perception of what your memory is.
John, that sounds an awful lot like a driven agenda memory. Is that a driven agenda driven?
I wouldn't say so.
See, that's when
But-
I kind of get lost. Yeah.
It can be associated to one, absolutely. Well, it can be a tactic of one, I should say.
So yeah, that's objective. That's objective reasoning. Very, very weird. I consider you know what the homeless genius philosopher, that was one of the people who I kind of associated with because he was a cynic and he didn't believe in the system. Okay, so when it comes to studying in school, now that's the funny part. And they go and they start bringing up subjects of math. I say, I don't want to do math because it makes no sense. Who invented this system? Who made that equation? That equation makes no sense. Why is it even present? What is wrong with this form of calculating the environment? The metaphysical world from science said that this is just simply a manifestation of a metric system in the universe, the universal metric system of all the planets that are correlate together and give certain sounds and vibrations that can be measured in sound frequency is not real. So I mean, is real, but it is also not real. It is said to be a myth. So technically from that, you get the understanding that maybe math isn't as effective as it could be.
Do you believe you can understand things that aren't logical?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Do you think some of your understandings are not logical?
They're 100% not logical.
100% not logical.
Yeah.
Then what value do they have?
they have the value of creativity from moving from A to Z.
So if you approach an engineer who is missing a piece of a puzzle to finish an engineering project and you admit to him that your ideas are 100% not logical, how seriously should he take that?
That's why I don't tell him about it.
So you're admitting to subversive techniques.
What is a synthesis thinking?
Subversive techniques means to omit certain details in order to improve your standing upon the situation.
It's
Something that is not readily apparent to the other person, as in lying to them about what you just said.
lying about what?
Full
About
of shit, dude. You're full of shit, you bro.
Hey Taylor, it's too soon for that one.
let me think.
Late for that
Because
one.
it is objective. No, it is objective.
Can
What
something objective be 100% not logical?
Do you know what that word means?
Yeah.
Right.
okay.
Do you understand that word?
Sort of, yeah. It means to complete a goal.
Not
Okay.
at all.
Oh, but
Let me. What
what
the
if
fuck?
listen, if something isn't logically true, isn't it technically a lie?
If something is not, no, it is a pick of luck.
What
Not a
does
lie.
that mean?
That means it's a pick of the unknown. Imagine a known being a cake, and you take
What
and you cut it into pieces, and then you pick the cake. You pick a piece from the cake.
What do you
It's
have
fucking
when you
weird.
pick a piece of cake from the unknown? What do you have?
Okay, you have new information that you never knew about, but
Yeah,
it came.
But that information, is it logically true?
It can be if it is okay. Okay, now this is where relativity comes in. So we have something called okay. So we have logic, real logic that is not made up, that is presented by the people, and then we have fake logic, or whatever, or creativity.
And by fake logic, you mean logic that's not 100% true?
That's not 100% true. Correct.
Okay.
And then we kind of mix. We reflect with the fake.
Yeah, but if you
With the
reflect,
logic
won't you
that
have
is
the
handpicked to create the unknown, we alter the
same? How
universal
do you handpick the unknown?
because I can handpick the unknown.
How can you? Okay, handpick to make the unknown.
I just want to say that
Hey, Suze,
I love
read what I just-
all
what I
the
just read.
sides
Everyone's
here,
supposed
and I just want to throw in that you all have been magnificent, and I love it.
Okay, you handpick what kind of things to make the unknown.
Okay, so it's based on luck. Okay, let's say we have something like
Well, before you go any further, can you define the term luck for us?
okay, fine. In a conventional sense or in my sense?
Your sense is the only one that matters here.
No, I do. Okay. Okay.
Okay, let me just interject here. In the regards for luck, your sense should be exactly the same as everybody else's sense. So go ahead.
Sort of. It could
No,
vary.
no.
It is
In
everything
terms
is
of luck,
turbulent.
it has to be the same.
Okay,
But
my
he already
conventional
decided
sense of luck. Okay, my conventional sense of luck.
He's already said that he's not working with math or logic as the principles of his reality, right?
100%.
Okay, no, I am. I am working with them. I'm reflecting on them. Okay. I'll show you.
Does it hurt?
Is it hard to reflect on them?
Does it hurt? We're the same thing.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Okay, so I'll tell you now. All right, so luck is the ability to attain reason within opportunistic value of associative understandings of wait, sorry. Okay, I'll do it again. Hold on. Luck is the ability to receive adaptability and associative understandings of a concept of objectivity and belief for the purpose of creation within the system of opportunity or the system of karma in itself.
Yeah, but how does that apply to handpicking to create the unknown?
It applies because I'm playing a lottery with the universe.
Yeah, but how can you handpick something if it's from a lottery?
How could I handpick something? Because, okay, good idea. I come in with thermal energy. Thermal energy is thought. Thought penetrates the unknown, and energy is reflected back in a certain form of sequence of understanding of different particle matters.
Yeah, but how can you handpick something that's just getting reflected in your face?
I just want to say that the INTJ's use of logic is an incredibly attractive thing, and that is all I'm going to say.
Okay. All right.
It's beautiful.
The way I handpick logic, everything is random. It
But
comes at
did you
random.
just say you handpicked logic?
Yes, yes. I handpick logic with randomness, and it's like a black boxing technique. It's variables. Okay. Listen. It has a bunch of variables. It's a black boxing technique that associates to the understanding of taking cryptic speech, cryptic variables, cryptic meanings, cryptic understandings, and
What's
putting
a
those
black
cryptic
boxing
understandings through a black box that will generate maybe a result of identity within the unknown vibrational understandings of the
but
universe.
what is the black
Technically,
box?
what is the
So-
black box? Okay,
Yeah.
the black box. The good idea, huh? The unknown, but not always the unknown. It is the objective value.
Okay, so the black box is the unknown,
Yes.
which it comes through and then reflects to you, so you can handpick the unknown. So it will be reflected again, or something.
True, but the unknown has things that are under a coat. They're under a shadow. So you kind of discover the shadow, like Command and Conquer. You drive certain tanks.
What the fuck is this? What are
It's
you
a fucked
trying
up
to?
logic.
Can you explain this to us in 10 words? What the fuck you're talking about?
No.
In 10 words, what am I talking about? I'm talking about associations with the unknown on a vibratory level.
How
to
do you
get
associate
information.
with an unknown?
How do I associate with the unknown? I bring in thermal energy.
And what does that do for you?
That gives off, that makes me a part of the unknown.
Thermal energy is inherently entropic, and I don't see how that's benefiting you.
True. I see what you mean.
Do you?
Then I need to rethink it. Okay.
You need to rethink your whole presentation.
Wow, I'm honestly surprised with this guy right now.
I went back into my past, and that's when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I thought like this.
How often do you consider the possibility that you might be mistaken?
A lot of the times.
And what's
lot
the
of
result of those considerations?
The result of those considerations are I gotta try harder and harder and harder. Okay.
Please, Jeremy, keep going.
What do you think you're doing wrong?
What do I think I'm doing wrong? Nothing.
Naturally.
Are you
What do you
testing
think you
your
could-
ideas?
Is there anything that could improve on?
You have already concluded that you're not making logic conclusions.
That's a good
Exactly.
question. Is there anything you can improve on?
I live in a dual reality where there
Obvious.
is
Oh my god. Okay, are you trolling us or are you
No.
serious about your arguments?
I am giving you my subconscious understanding and reasoning as to how I conclude that
How can you give us something
But
you're
then,
not aware of?
how do you value consciousness?
because I mix my subconsciousness with my conscious mind together.
Okay,
How do you
but then
go
I
about-
guess the thing
You
is
do
that
that
why don't you
consciously?
critically assess it? Do you ever like critically assess it, and do you ever challenge yourself or question where you're coming from?
Yes,
Or you just accept everything that?
I
You
accept
think of-
everything that comes in.
know-
Okay,
this is
then why are you
recorded.
presenting this side? Why are you presenting this side to us when you've questioned everything?
Maybe this is when I question everything based on what?
Are you a mystic?
A mystic? Yes, sort of. Yes, because my mind is mystical. Yes.
What is your first language?
My first language is Russian, but I
Is
also
that why you
speak
don't
English.
understand words?
No.
Well, I think we can grant
my mind doesn't get words.
Yeah, you don't even believe that. I think we can grant him
No, my mind-
a bit
my
of
mind- no,
leniency
listen,
when it
listen,
comes
listen,
to
listen, listen,
word
listen.
translations. I mean, like, just like objectivity versus subjectivity.
Okay, yes. Okay, objectivity versus subjectivity. Okay, my subjectivity is completely shot. I can't rephrase definitions in my mind from birth.
How long did you
about
live
your
in Russia?
objectivity?
What? Sorry?
How long did you live in Russia?
I came here when I was 5 years old. I'm technically a good fluent English speaker. I think my thinking orients on vibrations. So if I calm my vibrations, I could think more clearer, and the
How do you
puzzle
do that?
starts coming together.
What techniques do you use to calm your vibrations?
I just feel less anxiety. I feel less FE. Less
No,
FE.
That's not a
Is-
technique. That's a result.
Yeah, that's the result. So my FE is calibrating. If you make me
Okay, you're
nervous,
avoiding the
I'm
question.
gonna
What
start.
technique do you use to do that? What
To-
action?
It's
or,
natural.
or
It's natural. I feel empathy, and my emotions trigger like a bicycle trigger, and they build up. They spin up. They spin up energy. They spin up tornado vibrations, and those tornado vibrations give off this certain other higher form of vibrations in my mind.
That's a technique
ask-
that you learned, or is this something that you're just naturally capable of doing?
I am naturally capable of doing, and it's something that I don't really like at times because it could actually make me seem very more than anxiety oriented. It could make me seem dissolute. It could make me seem with cognitive dissonance because I'm thinking through FE and NI, and because of that, I'm getting these weird.
What is it like
Impressions.
thinking through FE?
Or NI? NI is a perceiving function. How do you think through perception?
How do I think with perception? The moment, simply the moment.
You revert to the moment often when pressed on a technical issue,
Because that's what it is. That's
but that
that's
doesn't
how I solve the
explain, that
problem.
doesn't explain anything.
Because my mind
he
forms
doesn't,
things differently.
understand his own nature. That's all.
We know.
What is your name, guitar guy?
No.
Mine?
Oh my fucking
Yeah.
God, that's
Jeremy.
horrible.
I like you, Jeremy.
So do I.
Okay, well, if I was to
Yes,
discover
I
my
like
mind,
you too, Jeremy. It was beautiful.
if
Jeremy,
I
I
was,
just want to admire what
We're
you've
not
done
done
thus
yet,
far.
Chloe. We are so not done.
Oh wow.
okay,
Okay, guys, hold on a second. Weird guy. If you don't mind me asking you a straightforward question, keep in mind that all of these people are nowhere near you and have no effect on you personally or your life.
okay.
So, if you don't mind opening up for a second, like really opening up, How do you feel about yourself?
I feel about myself
Yes.
like a manifestation
No.
of the world.
What emotions do you derive from thinking about you, your life, and what you've done to other people?
What do I derive? I derive goodness because I help people.
Flick a match
You're
at it.
lying.
Flick a match at it.
What?
You're lying.
For what? I just help people. I I don't know how I help
Your
them. but I help
mannerisms
them.
betray you. You should
What?
look in the mirror more often.
Okay, so you don't know how you help people.
They give me an objectivity and I give them the result. I give them the
but you-
sensorial result.
You forgot what you told me last time. How you have helped thousands of youth.
Yes, I help
Harriet.
thousands of suicidal teenagers. And I
You
did.
should.
And you
Yeah.
don't know how.
And how does that make you feel about yourself?
I don't know how to explain it to the point of my own gain, but I know how to process the moment and
don't know
help
your
the
own
person in the
To
moment.
your own gain, but what did you do?
What did I do? Okay, so the
Yeah.
guy said, or the girl said, her name's Molly. She was like, I'm referring to a demon because I feel like I'm not pretty or whatever. So something even simple as that. And I go, well, you're pretty, actually. If you were to look at the statistics of the Health Magazine article, it says that, 40 or whatever, like let's say take a random psychology. Whenever a person looks at him in a mirror at himself, he probably won't like himself. But when other people look at his pictures, they will like him better because he spends more time with himself. So probably it would be a good idea to reconsider
Gosh.
the understanding of her thinking that she's
What you doing?
not as attractive based
But
on
what are
the
you
idea.
doing?
What am I doing?
You're
I'm
telling
basic-
her she's pretty?
I'm telling her that she should consider more facts before thinking that she's not pretty.
So your tactic is better than the professionals do. You just tell them that and they're fixed.
Not really. I would say it's equal.
Equal.
Well, in a way, I mean, I think it's better because it's more intuitive.
I appreciate that.
No, it's not.
You should not be doing that on camera, Josh.
Hold on.
There you go. Okay. Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Everybody is completely focused on you. How does that make you
Yes.
feel?
It's what he wants. He's just babbling some bullshit.
You don't say the question. You don't say the answer for him.
Well, I want people to understand a new perspective. I want people to understand a new form of thinking. I want people to understand the possibility, the calculated nature of the moment. I want people to understand the way how things come together, and I want people to understand different mindsets that people are born with, and how information travels through those
your
type of
heroes?
mindsets. As a form of subconscious, conscious minds coming together. So technically, for scientific research, this is very good for people who want to, expand their knowledge in the understanding of wanting to see what randomness generated is like and compare it in real life as a form of sample.
But you don't
Sample.
compare things in real life.
Do I compare things to real life? Yes, I said I have duality, two mindsets. One compares to the real life, the other compares to my
Okay.
way of thinking.
Now, regarding my question about how you feel about a lot of people being,
this
attention
was me when I was smaller.
You have not answered the
I
question.
organized
If you
myself.
didn't notice yet, you misdirected the conversation to something about what your intentions are. I'm going to re-ask the question. What does it make you feel like to have all these people focused on you?
Directed hostility.
What does it make me feel like? Well,
Keep in mind, the key word is feel.
I assume. What does it make me feel like? Well, I believe that I am simply an undefined value or something.
Okay, no,
like
again,
What do you
misdirecting.
feel like?
What do you feel from all of these people? being so
I feel very little things in general. So
Right.
um,
So,
I feel
It takes a lot of attention to make you feel anything. Now, regarding this is quite a bit of attention. What does it make you feel like?
And you can be honest. There's no harm.
Yeah.
It's rather, I don't know. In a sense, I don't know how to explain it. Internally, I could process emotions, but externally, I bring out jumbled information.
Okay, so let's try it a different way. Regarding your physicality, do you feel warmth in your gut, in your arms, in your head, in your neck, in your heart? Where?